Good day! This video is to help you navigate through the available tools that are already accessible and available in the website. It is always best to consult an immigration lawyer who are licensed to give you an advice as your future depends in here. Do your diligence of investigating and checking whether that person that you are having transaction with is legit or not. I am not a migration agent nor a consultant. Anything that I discuss here is your experience and additional research that I just made. You can also find everything through the Department of Home Affairs website, which is below this page. And I'll click it and we'll go to the page. Before we get started, please don't forget to hit subscribe button and the bell button to get an update with new videos uploaded in my channel. And please like, comment, and share. As provided, so we jump to the permanent resident section. All right, this is how it looked like. Under the permanent resident, you can see the overview, entitlements, overseas travel as a permanent resident, proof of permanent resident, and visa options. So we just go to the visa options. And then from page, you'll see that there are many pathways to become permanent residency under family, work stream, business, and other options. So just try and explore into that. But if you're already sure, if you have family member here that are already permanent residents and Aussie that has the ability to sponsor you, then go for this. But if you have, like for example, you come here and you are already in a skilled occupation list, then you go for work stream. If you have lots of money, you go for the investor part. Now some people, for example, they come here on a student visa, thinking that their course may lead into a certain occupation which will lead them to a possibility of become PR here. So probably you're looking to the work stream permanent resident visa. Now we go down and click on the workers part if that's the route that you wanted. Now when we click it, it will ask you a series of questions. So in here, probably it's gonna be skilled or highly specialized work, or just try and navigate through this option and see what are type of visa that suits you. But for my example, just here, we just go to the skilled or highly specialized work. Now it's asking you, are you intending to stay 3 months, 5 years, or permanently? Of course. You want to go and stay here and permanently. How do you intend to apply? Then if someone is sponsoring you, or are you applying independently? So we go for both. Or it's just only asking for what. Then we just go for the independently then. Now for this one, it will lead you to these three types of visa. For me, I applied for the 189 visa because that one is applicable for me. Now, if you want to check on the part, that is already gonna cost you $4,115. Then we go to the detail part of that. Now we go to the basic eligibility. We have to read these things. So this visa for 189 visa. This visa lets invited workers with skills we needed to live and work permanently anywhere in Australia. And here you don't need a sponsor or a nominator. I will discuss that further. And you must be invited and you must be under 45 years old. How to navigate to the Doha website. We will now discuss this part. So, to be eligible to apply for a 189 visa or the PR visa, you have to have an occupation that is relevant to the skilled occupation list. So, we have to discuss this first. Alright, jumping through that, it will go direct you to this page and the corresponding visa. Now, it will be easier for you to find, for example, your current occupation in your current country is, for example, a nurse. And also you want to search whether you are eligible to apply for a permanent residency straight away, or do you need to study perhaps. Now there are so many types of nurses in here. For example, you took a course and that lead you to becoming an enrolled nurse. The corresponding ANZS code for that is 411411, and that occupation can be eligible to apply for 190 visa or 407 visa or 489, 482, 187, 494, and 491. Now if you're gonna look at it, you can check the DOA website for this specific type of visa and see how you are going to be eligible for that. Like you need to comply whatever requirements that this type of visa is requiring you of. Now it says here that it is under the STSOL occupation, so it means it's in a short-term list, and the assessing authority for that is the ANMAC. Now, it means that there isn't just an authority that wants to review whether your occupation, your education is equivalent to the one that we have here in Australia. All right, now if you want to explore again, just go to maybe, for example, your work at the moment is at aged care. Let's see. Now, for aged care, this is probably applicable for you if you are a registered nurse in your country and you work in an aged care facility. But for saying a certain sector that, for example, they work in an aged care but they are not a registered nurse, then probably you don't have the qualification to become a permanent resident. Now, let's get another example for engineer. All right. Let's see what applicable for you. For example, you are an electronic engineer. So let's go with the electronic. Maybe this one is applicable, like electrical engineering technician or electrician. Oh, there's so many types of electrical engineer out there. So the ANZ code again is 233311, and these are the corresponding PR license. Oh no, PR type of visa that you can apply for, and the one it is in the medium list for the occupation, and the one who's assessing whether you qualify or not is Engineers Australia. With STSOL, these are the occupation that employer can use if they want to hire someone from overseas, and this will be valid for 2 years with a possible extension of 2 years as well. And however, these people does not have the eligibility to apply for permanent residency, whilst for people who are under MLT SSL, their employer hire them because their occupation is under the crucial list, and so their visa is going to be valid for after 2 years, and they have the ability to apply for permanent residency post 3 years. Okay, so now that you know that your occupation is under the SOL or the skilled occupation list, then you check the suitable skills assessment as well. You need to have a positive skills assessment to be able to apply for this permanent resident pathway. Now you click on that. Um, Skilled assessing authorities are an organization that checks that your skill meets the standard is set up to work in relation to the occupation. So going back to how we check whether who is your assessing body, remember during navigation through the skill occupation list, and I told you about the assessing authority, you just simply jump through to that, all right, or just go directly to their website and then see what are the requirements that they would be needing. Once you have the positive skills assessment, then you're probably perhaps ready to apply for a permanent residency visa. Then you go to the eligibility section because it's asking you should be invited to apply for this type of visa. So you just go with the eligibility part and you will see submit an expression of interest. So just click on that. All right, it will lead you to the skill select section part and just basically follow the instructions in there. For your EOI or expression of interest, it will ask you how are you claiming this point. So let us practice on that. This also you can see in Doha website, just search points calculator. So we practice on subclass 189 visa, which I did when I applied for mine. So my age at the time was in here, in between here. And then for English test, I did proficient English. So if you want to see how what score do you need, at the time when I did a proficient English, I took the IELTS and it gives me all the subcomponents of 7 and an overall above 7 on my score. So I can claim points of that. With skilled employment experience, if it's outside, then is it at least 3 but less than 5? Mine was 5 years. And then for Australian skilled employment, just because I came here on an iron bridging class, I don't have an Australian skilled experience at the time, so I'm not claiming anything for that. So that's the lowest. With educational attainment, what's the highest? I had a master's degree, but it didn't give me that option, and so I just chose bachelor degree. With Australian study requirement, of course, I'm not claiming anything because it should have you taken like 1 degree, diploma, or trade qualification. I'm only taking an iron bridge at a time, so it's different. So I'll say no to that. Specialist education now. I do have a master's degree, but it's not by research, nor I don't have a doctorate degree as well in an Australian education system. So I'll say no to that as well. For credential community, if you want to earn more points to that, like if you feel like you're only 60 points and you need another 5 more points, then you can take the NAATI or National Accreditation Authority for Translators and Interpreters test. You're eligible to take that test, especially if you're, for example, I came from the Philippines, so I probably be good at using my own language, Tagalog, and those. So you can use the interpretation thing and to boost your scores. So because I didn't take that, I don't have the certificate. I'll say no to that. And I didn't study in regional area or regional places here in Australia. So I'll just say no to that. So that's why it's good. Like some people, they would say, oh, you just study in a regional area because you're gonna get more like extra points for that. So which is really good option for you if you feel like you have less points. Now for partners, this is just recent. I think just 2 years ago it was presented. So if you're coming with a partner that has a qualification or that have a skills assessment as well and have a positive English test, then you can claim for points for that. But if you are single and doesn't have any, like if you are single or your partner in Australian citizen or permanent resident, then you can claim for points for that. So I was single at the time. A professional year, this is only valid for people who has been in an accounting, ICT, or computer engineering courses. So they do have a professional year, and once they get a certificate, they can get that professional year certificate, and then they can claim for that. But because I don't have that, I will just take no. Now let's see. My total point score is 75. So the minimum score to apply for permanent residency is actually 65, and it depends on the occupation. So for me, it's easier because I'm a registered nurse and there are heaps of work demands for my occupation. Actually, at the time when I applied for my visa, I only have 65 points because at that time there's no score system yet for partners. All right. That's how you use the points calculator. Of PR visa, and there are four common that I know of that I just discussed. The first one is the 189 skilled visa, which is the highest form of PR. So you don't need a sponsor when you apply for this. You need to be invited so you can lodge this visa, and you need to be less than 45 years old. And the cost is 4,240. So the rest, guys, is gonna be just the same. You should be just less than 45 years old, and you need to be invited as well, so you could apply for this permanent residency. Now the second one is 190. It's a state sponsorship. So mind you that some state doesn't need you to be living there at the time of invitation, but some state do. So look on just further onto that. So you need to be nominated by the state or territory government. FO 186 is this employer nomination scheme. So employer will nominate you to be able to apply for this visa. And the cost is around $4,045 for the main applicant. And the next one is the regional sponsor migration, which you need to be sponsored by the regional areas, and the cost is $4,115. Now, I encountered a lot of students asking whether their courses can lead to a permanent residency pathway. So, my advice to you guys is just use the Google. Now, if you're taking a cookery course, just type in cookery course career pathway in Australia, and you will see what will your profession be after finishing the course. So, for example, if you're going to be a commis chef or chef de partie, whatever, look into the skilled occupation list whether this is going to be in it, and then follow the steps that I just taught you from the start of the video. Now, if you're also someone who's taking a diploma of nursing, we'll just get another example. All right, so just search diploma of nursing career pathway in Australia, and you'll see that you are probably going to be enrolled nurse working in an aged care nurse or rehabilitation nurse, whatever. And then search again in skilled occupation list and see if it's in there. And if you see it there, then just go with the checking whether you can get a skills assessment for that. Thank you for watching. Please see the next video if you are interested to know what will your benefits be when you become a PR here in Australia. See you. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. I will make one in the future again, so just stay tuned.